Hey there, it's Aubrey Bracco from Survivor Co. Raw. Grab some giant clams, pick some mangoes, sit back and relax with Dwaine and Dave on Survivor Talk with D&D. With Survivor knowledge this tasty, we're sure you'll make it through the whole show, just as long as Mark the Chicken.
Welcome to Survivor Talk with D&D. Just two best friends talking about the show we love, Survivor. My name is Dwaine, and I'm here with my aforementioned best friend, David. How you doing, David?
I'm doing good, Dwaine. How are you?
I'm doing very well. By the way, we just got to apologize ahead of time. If my audio does funky stuff, David's going to go, and I'm going to disconnect my audio USB and reconnect it, and it'll be like 10 seconds before I can talk again. So
right.
Actually what's going to happen is David's going to get irritated, or David's going to think my joke is stupid and go.
Because sometimes we say what we want to say and not what we mean to say, but then we say what we have to say and go from there.
Right. So I need to turn David up in my headphones. Where are you, David?
Yeah, turn me up.
Yeah, I got to turn you. Actually, you're kind of low anyway. Talk for me. Say, hello, I'm David.
Hello, I'm David.
No, you're actually pretty good level. All right.
When
Tonight we were talking.
Sure.
What,
when
David?
I talk like that, yeah, I'm sure I'm good there.
Yeah. Well, you're a little further away from your mic than you usually are.
Oh.
I think. Maybe. Tonight we were talking about episode 7. It's a Friday morning. We don't usually do this on a Friday morning. And I have my Chia haircut today. No product in it at all. How about you, David? You got any product in your hair?
You know what that haircut reminds me of?
What?
When you were here and we stopped by the church to visit the new guy, and you said, you could have told me what my hair looked like before I visited the new guy.
Oh. Episode 7, I Will Destroy You, and we're going to read, listen to, and discuss your thoughts on the show as well. I think we have a record number of feedback tonight, so it's going to be fun. And, of course, we're giving away a buff from buffusa.com. Y'all, the merge buff is going to be coming out. So go to buffusa.com/SurvivorTalk33 and order yours as soon as they're available, and use SurvivorTalk33 promo code to get 10% off. All right? Please use our link to get there, or next year we may not be able to give away free buffs.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you for listening, watching, subscribing, sharing, and supporting our show. We love you and thank you very much. Be sure to check out our website, stwdd.com, for all our shows, blogs, and, of course, links to Amazon, Patreon, and other websites, too. Other Survivor Talk websites. Not Survivor Talk. Other Survivor websites. So do that. If you're not a member of the Facebook group, well, join now. stwdd.com/Facebook. We're almost at 900 members of the Facebook group.
I saw that.
We have like 1,800 followers on Twitter, but see, they're not as into the conversation as the Facebook group. We have a lot of good conversation in the Facebook.
If you follow on Twitter, you can be apart from a distance.
Yes.
Which, if you're in the Facebook group, you're part of the family. But even if you don't talk, so we know there's 600 of you that don't talk.
Yes.
But if you follow on Twitter, it's like just kind of looking through the window and seeing what's happening.
From a distance, I'm watching you. If you're watching live, as many of you are, thank you, click that like button and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Join the conversation in the chat room. That's always fun. And I have to say welcome to our newest D&D patron, Bruce MacDonald. Remember that all $2 and above patrons get our D&D extra video each week. And last week's video, where we predicted this week's boot incorrectly, was a wonderful video because we both wore our Halloween costumes. It was a wonderful video. And this week's D&D extra video, we're going to be talking about the merge.
Mm-hmm.
So $2 and up patrons get a sample of that.
Should we tell them about the Merge podcast? Have we been?
Well, I don't know when it is. Do you know when it is yet?
Well, we were going to do it right after the merge, which has been our tradition for 1 year. So I don't know if it's a tradition yet, but it's a seasonal thing. But we're going to have on Andy and maybe Steve and Dr. Jill and maybe another. But we were going to do it the Sunday after the merge, which would be next Sunday. But I'm out of town. I think Andy's out of town because CBS didn't listen to us when we asked him when to do the merge.
Right.
So.
Right.
So we're talking about doing it the 20th, the afternoon of the 20th, which would give you an extra podcast to listen to over Thanksgiving week.
So basically, we'll be talking about the merge and the episode after the merge.
And the first boot. Yeah.
And actually, first boot.
First 2 boots.
And that's going to be with Andy Baker, Steve Helling Andy Baker from True Dork Times and from whatever school he teaches at. Steve Helling from People Magazine. Dr. Jill from Survivor. Anybody else?
Not that we've spoken to. I can find somebody else.
Well, I mean, Cass is always fun.
Jason's always around.
Yeah. Just saying. All right. Let's see. So thank you, Bruce McDonald, for being. It is time to draw for a signed shirt or mug. It is 4 people who became new D&D patrons at $6 a month or raised their existing support to $6 a month. It's okay if I tell that because it was part of the whole thing anyway. So they are, number 1, Siri will determine the winner. Number 1 will be Jessica Campbell. Number 2 is Laurie Stiegel or Stiegel. Number 3 is Will the Giant Ninja. And number 4 is Bruce McDonald. So when I ask Siri for a random number, that person is going to get a free signed shirt or mug. All right, here we go. Hello. Oh, hey Siri, give me a random number between 1 and 4.
3.
The winner is Will Dennison because he only has 500 shirts already. Congratulations, Will. And they all just lowered their monthly support.
He's on a roll. The Cubs won and he won.
Yeah.
So.
The Cubs won and he just won a signed shirt or mug. I suggest a mug because you've already got tons of shirts.
Yeah.
So, yes, I know, David.
Okay.
Because if my sound messes up, it's going to mess up the recording anyway. So,
I got you.
YouTube audio for this one.
Oh, hang on. Somebody wants to join our Facebook group.
We'll let them join. So, congratulations to Will. Thank you for all of our patrons. We love you and we're so thankful for you. One more thing. Last October, 2015. I don't even remember what season that was. I guess that'd be season 31.
You're getting static again. That was the signal that my
all right, talk.
I'm going to talk and keep talking. And welcome our newest member to the Facebook group, Judy Howard. Since you're going to see it anyway, she is joining our Facebook group. Hi, Judy. Wonder if you're listening or watching or following. I wonder if Will got to hear that he won because he's just joined our Facebook group. So apparently someone is either waiting on their lawyer or still sitting in a cell because he is in our chat room. But this is a good crowd for Friday morning doing a next day event. So let's see. We got loads of feedback. We got 17 feedback tonight. I think that is the most we've ever had.
Is it working yet?
Yes, sir. Now you're working.
This is going to be very inconvenient during the show.
I think.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to have to do? Oh, crud. See, I installed this it's called Tar Disk, and you put it in your SIM slot, and it creates, instead of having a 250 gig SSD drive, I now have a 500 gig drive that kind of acts like, it kind of puts, but I had to take off my partition that had my old Yosemite install, which is where I used to do all my podcasting from.
What's the thing called?
Tar Disk.
It's not from Doctor Who or anything, is it?
No, that'd be something else.
Okay.
All right, one more thing. Last October, we had 11,881 audio downloads during the month of October, last year. But this past month, David, October 2016, for the first time ever, we had over 20,000 downloads. We had 21,810 audio downloads.
Wow.
That's almost 100% growth in a year.
And it's not the Russians.
And it's not the Russians. No, it's not. I don't care what anybody says. It's not the Russians. So to celebrate, me, little old Dwaine, I'm giving away 2 signed D&D mugs, which means David has to sign them along with me. One for the winner and one for the winner to give away as a Christmas Dirty Santa gift. What do you call those gifts? You don't call them dirty Santas.
Oh, we don't call them dirty.
That's what they call them here. They call them dirty Santa, which the first time I heard it, I was like, what?
Like the white elephant gift?
Yeah, like a white elephant gift.
Okay.
So the winner gets one for themselves. I know, I don't understand.
It reminds me of the movie Bad Santa.
Yeah,
which is bad. So,
but whatever you call those gifts at your Christmas parties, where you're supposed to bring a gift for $5 or less or $10 or less, the other mug is for you to do that with. I can't make you do that, but anyway. So
my strategy is always to get something that I want, so that when somebody else opens it, I can get it back.
By the way, the next time my audio goes weird, use the hand that's close to your mic because I can't see your other hand. Okay. Yes, that one. Yes. So here's how we're going to do it. All right. We will draw a name on our November 17th show. That's 2 weeks. From a list of those who enter the contest, here's how you enter. All right. You have to send a letter or postcard to Survivor Talk with D&D, P.O. Box 588, Athens, Alabama, 35613, and write something nice on it. All right. Be sure to include your name. Otherwise, I'm just, if you live outside the continental U.S., I'll send you the mugs, but we won't sign them because it'll cost too much. Sorry. All right. So if you want to enter for your chance to win 2 signed mugs, one to give away as a Christmas gift, as a joking Christmas gift, Survivor Talk with D&D, P.O. Box 588, Athens, Alabama, 35613. It is time for That was interesting, David. I was looking at the chat room and you just told someone we're not going to say anything interesting the whole show.
And then we got somebody special just join our chat room.
Who?
Who?
Well, let me look since you're not telling me. Oh, cool. An actual Survivor player. We're not going to tell you who. You can join the chat room if you want to see who it is.
That's right. There you go. Now you're teasing. Now you're doing the good teasing.
You know what, though? Later on in the show, I've already got it written down in my notes. So when I talk very highly of this person, it is not because she's in the chat room.
Well, now you've cut the group in half. Actually, you've cut it down quite a bit because there's only so many of hers left in the show.
All right. Initial thoughts. David, what is the phrase we always hear over and over again about Survivor? You can't trust anyone in this game. And Michaela made a major mistake.
Followed only by anything can happen. But yes, you're right. Yours is much more important.
Well, Michaela played this game as though she was on the Dallas Cowboys and the Gen Xers were on the Washington Redskins, right? And there's a rivalry, and there's no way a Dallas Cowboy is ever going to go against another Cowboy. They're going to fight against the Washington Redskins. And she played it like it was a sports competition, like it was the Super Bowl or something, instead of – I mean, Survivor is so much more than that. You know? Right. I mean – all she had to do was look at what happened on the other 2 tribes. Gen Xer vote off a Gen Xer. A millennial votes off a millennial. It's not just a sports game. It's not a game of trust. I mean, it can be, but not with 3 other people.
Right.
Anyway, so Michaela made a mistake.
That goes along with my initial reaction number 4. Okay. Which was Kayla reminded me in that Shells and Stone scene of a returning player. The way she thought, the way she was thinking through things, it sounded like somebody who's been there before, which showed kind of how smart she was. But at the same time, everyone else sat back and thought, wow, she's already at the Final 4 and she's actually got the stones to prove it, and she's wow, this is whoa. Yeah. I haven't thought that far. I haven't counted Ken. I haven't counted Zeke, and she's already counting when they go. And
oh yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That would scare me too, to a degree that if I would think about that, which I probably would, I certainly wouldn't talk about it. Yeah. And she talked early on after the reward. I'm nervous because I don't want to be seen. Thanks, Jeff Probst, for pointing me out in every challenge, but I don't want to be seen as a threat, somebody to vote off. And here she goes standing up on the teacher's desk, talking about how they're all going to get to the end her way, but she doesn't want to be seen as a threat. Well, too late.
Yep. Yep. All right. What's your other initial thoughts? What are your other initial thoughts? Let me speak correct English here.
They're going to need to keep some shade on Han because this is not the last time Hannah's going to be shocked and surprised.
That's right.
My thought was shade. Somebody bring some shade to tribal council. Well, the sun's not out, so it's a good thing they're in the dark.
That's funny.
So, and I don't think any of that is for the camera. Any of that is for anything. I think that's Hannah.
Yeah,
I think she has a hard time hiding that sudden shock. She's going to have to learn that, obviously, and I think she'll get better as the game goes on. But that's just out of nowhere.
Yeah,
you know, Michaela had the fight back reaction. Hannah had the "Are you kidding? We were done." You know, and so they're going to need some more shade because I think Hannah's going to need it later on in the season.
All right, and by shade, you're talking about a covering, not what millennials use shade for.
Yes, yes, okay. I'm talking about what got her back to being normal. Or got her out of her state. Was it last week during that challenge?
All right. What's your other initial thought?
I had no idea that funeral directors were unfunny and unlively.
Yeah, apparently.
Because Brett can't be one because he's too funny.
Yeah.
I also wrote down
that and he probably gave a lot of generic answers. Like, yeah. I mean, if I'm out there, I'm like, so what formula do you like best when you're embalming?
There you go. And then she probably did, but those were probably the worst answers he gave, and those are what he showed on TV.
Yeah, I prefer a 60-40 mix.
Do you do two families at once? No, we just talk to one family at a time.
Yeah. Have you ever had someone sit up on you? Now, I've actually talked to funeral guys. You know, I do a lot of funerals. I'm a pastor and a worship pastor. So I've talked to some funeral directors, and there's some pretty crazy stuff that happens back in those rooms.
Oh, I don't want to know that.
You know, so he's just like all of a sudden, you know, you're like, ah. All right, go ahead.
I wrote that once you start becoming a target of positive comments from Probst, it's too late. You know, because he doesn't let up.
Yeah,
but
Michaela could win it all.
Yeah,
if y'all aren't careful, Michaela's going to beat you, Jay, and I like Jay.
My other thing is there's a lot of great relationship building going on. We heard a lot of good things about Jay early on, and now Zeke gets another person who he wasn't aligned with to tell him about an idol. So what kind of a great social game is Zeke playing? So I just thought that was interesting. I wrote that down. And that was all I got.
The only other initial thought I have is CBS is really giving Jay a good edit. Just thought I'd tell you that. So okay. I'm like torn between, because I know one of the people that's playing next season, but I'm torn between the other one, and I don't have any idea who it is. Like been spoiled by it, so I can't decide if it's Michaela or Jay. But see, Michaela got pre-boot, but she was good, you know.
If Jay goes out and plays again, it'll be his third season on site in a row because he was out for co-wrong. I would be surprised.
Well, he didn't make it though, and he
correct. He didn't make it, but that would be interesting.
Well, I guess it depends because Michaela could learn from this season, and if she learned from this season, then she could go really far. You know, and Jay, if he doesn't win, then I mean, the guy's anyway. All right, day 19.
You know what? If you don't want to stand out in challenges, volunteer to sit one out.
Yeah,
you know, her and Jay set out nothing. It was the other two that kept flipping out.
That's why Will won't ever do a challenge. He doesn't want to appear too good.
There you go.
Yeah, boy,
that was me at Durham Warriors. See,
yeah, right. They were like, "Okay, we're gonna swim across this lake." David goes, "I'll sit this one out."
No, it was like, I'll do it, and they're like, we actually want to win because if we don't, you're getting voted out. Oh, go ahead, go for it. You guys take it.
All right, man, we got a lot of show ahead of us, so let's do day 19. David, Zeke, and Michelle, and we get a little bit of a little hint that Michelle does all the cooking.
Whoa. What about night 18 with Adam and Taylor?
Oh, I totally skipped that. Oh, night 18. Adam wants to talk to Taylor. How did you like his approach? Because he didn't do what you suggested.
I hated it.
All right.
I like the idea that he did it because we're too close to the merge to not care about possible jurors. So if that was the first boot of the game, I don't even talk to Taylor. I keep my alliance strong and go from there. But since we're this close to the merge, I liked that he approached Taylor and it's like, hey, first opportunity. Do you want to talk? If he says no, I said, okay, can we talk tomorrow? but he wanted to talk. He wanted to hear it. Taylor's like, yeah. And good move on Taylor to listen.
Yeah.
But I lied to you. I screwed you. I 100% admit that it was my fault. And you're now in a worse position than you were before. I'm like, dude, you should have stopped like 35 words ago.
Yeah.
You are just reinforcing that revenge spike that he wants to stick in your head.
Yep.
So I like the chat idea. I just didn't like where it ended up going, unless there was a lot more we didn't see.
Right. Okay. And Taylor, of course, gets the title of the show. When the time comes, I will destroy you.
Yeah, which had nothing else to do with the episode. So maybe I guess
Right.
it's further down the road.
Yeah. Day 19. Michelle always cooks. Now, here's interesting, and we're going to get to the buff thing in a minute, but David thinks he has a tighter bond with Zeke. The problem is he doesn't know that Zeke has a tighter bond with Chris. This could be his downfall, which may be why CBS showed us this editing package from post-merge.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean post-merge? It wasn't post-merge.
Surely.
Well, look at David's buff whenever he says, I hate sharing knowledge of the idol, etc. The buff looks like a vanilla buff, right? It's got the little circle flower things on it and stuff like that. There it is, right? Just like my vanilla buff. Mm-hmm. But when he's talking to Zeke, the buff has a complete different set of markings. So CBS has done color correcting or whatever, color changing, and so they could do that edit. So that means they're trying to make sure we hear the story of the David, Zeke, and Chris triangle.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got to know that Zeke and Chris are close because of how much he hears them talk about Oklahoma. How close, right? He may not know, but David has got to, at some point, fill up his list of people he's going to trust.
Oh, my gosh.
Because him not liking to share his idol information is not true.
No, he loves it.
I think Michelle knows. He probably told all the producers, well, they already do anyway, but he probably told the fish and the shrimp that came from the ocean.
Yeah.
But what else I got from that scene is Michelle doing a lot of little things around camp or in the social game. We got the edit that said she always does the cooking.
Right.
That's not a woman thing. That's a Michelle strategy thing. That's a social thing. Michelle's providing. She's doing the cooking. If it comes right down to it and somebody makes a mistake, like Chris goes off on David for some reason, David wants to be able to say, hey, or Michelle wants them to be able to say, hey, Michelle cooks. Chris just yells. We're getting ready to get to the merge. Why don't we keep Michelle? But anyway, I like that because later on in the challenge, it's the immunity challenge. David finally makes a shot and they show us Michelle telling him that was a good shot or that was really good. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything they show us is for a reason, I think. Yeah. So Michelle is doing little things, I think, to try and get back into good spots.
Yeah, I think the merge is going to help Michelle.
I do too.
Which we'll talk about on our D&D extra video, of course.
And I love how Zeke is delighted that the second best place to be if you don't have an idol is to be close with someone that does have an idol.
Yep.
That's a great point. And he's going to take very good care of David because David has an idol.
Yes.
For now.
Yes.
For the time being. That's right.
One of my favorite lines. Okay, David, you're going to play David telling Zeke how much you trust him and everything. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Zeke, I just want you to know that I really trust you a lot.
I trust you too.
I wrote down ding, 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 ding. Right answer. Way right answer. I love that. Zeke's like,
he's
okay,
like,
what
you're
else?
an idiot. I trust you too.
Okay, what else? Yes, what else? You're going to tell me something good, so I trust you. Yeah.
Do you have an idol?
Oh yeah. Zeke's like, I already know what you're going to tell me, but I'll tell you that I know.
All right, let's get to that reward challenge. And everyone seems to be kind of like shocked. And Michaela's like happy.
Didn't I say this last week that she's not going to be upset?
Yeah, and I said she was going to be ticked off, but she's not. I forgot. She totally doesn't like Figgy.
Yeah. Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Figalicia. Figalicious. Sometimes you say what you're supposed to say. Don't say that out loud, Michaela. Stop showing all your cards as though you're on a team that's totally protecting you. You're not.
See, and in some sense, we were getting the edit this year that people were liking her bluntness, her attitude. But when it came to the second half of this episode, her bluntness And her talking I think is what got her in trouble.
Yeah, well, she showed too many. It's like, oh, cool, I have a full house. Hey, look at this. Look at this, guys.
Hey, what is it if all the cards are the same number? Is that a good hand?
Yeah. It's like, hey, I know we're playing against each other for the final spot, but we're both from Alabama. So look at this awesome hand. That's the way she was playing. And you don't tell everybody, hey, Jeff, sometimes you say what you're supposed to say. Okay, anyway. They're playing for a personal chef, and of course, second place is also going to get some shish kebabs or whatever they're called. Food. Michelle and Zeke had the ball through the net action down pat.
Okay.
Poor Hannah and Will.
Yeah. Note to future players: if you are in a tribe challenge and Probst yells out that someone has figured this challenge out, stop what you're doing and look at what they're doing that they figured out. Because I felt so bad for Will and Hannah. I thought they were going to pop the ball the way Will was beating on that ball in that poor net. You just watch, and he's hammering when Zeke and Michelle are getting it out of the hole, and then the other side, Adam and Jessica are getting it through the hole, and then Will's just, I'm like, Will, you're not trying to go down the net, you're trying to go through the net. And I was just like, turn around and look, because Zeke and Michelle, they're finished.
Yep,
they got it. And at the end of it, once again, Jeff Probst points out, Michaela, once again, a nice victory coming up strong.
Way to go, Michaela. Let's see if I can sabotage your game so one of my guys can win.
Yeah, or why not let Jay finish the challenge? Because if you lose, it falls on Jay. I know she wants to win. She wants food. I understand that. She's super competitive. But in Survivor, it's more than one win. You don't have to always win the battle to win the war. So you got to think about all the little battles and where they fit.
That's right. However, they did need to win that one because the other tribe had already won, and they were going against Ken. But correct. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about individual.
Yeah.
Well, Michaela beats out Ken. Final confessional, Michaela. Makes me nervous when I help the team win because I don't want people thinking that I'm the one to beat.
Too late.
Yeah, a little too late for that.
Yeah.
All right, so day 19, it's time for the reward.
I just read my notes and start laughing.
Well, go for it. Talk about it.
No, it's just I wrote down protein and carbs and farts and hiccups and burps, but otherwise it's all the same thing. Poor Michelle.
Oh, Zeke, I usually watch.
Yeah, the look on Michelle's face is as good as the look on Michaela's face at the end because she looks at her food like, am I hearing what I think I'm hearing?
Yeah, I just looked over at my wife and she had the same look on her face during the show. She's like, come on, guys.
They were bad sounds too. Wow.
And what's with the, that's okay. That just gives you more room for more food.
It's clearing out space.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, well. All right. Takali, day 19.
Well,
go ahead.
Before you go, I was just saying, Michelle points out that she knows, this scene separates the girl from the animals, but she points out she knows she could be the easy boot, but she's not going to change the way she is.
Right.
Play the game, and that can be dangerous if depends on how far and what you're willing to do. I think she will adapt. Like you said, I think the merge will do her well, maybe.
Yeah.
She won't be as big a threat physically because of the other guys.
Right. All right. So Ken is talking politics. I hate talking politics, David. I hate it.
Which is why you don't hear us talking about it on this show.
Yeah. Although the Electoral College thing that Taylor said is a little worthy of discussion, but we won't. All right. Yeah. Taylor is like, we just don't care. And then he goes, we've realized things are not of use anymore, like the Electoral College.
I wonder if he read that somewhere.
You know why? Because he does, and I'm not going to get into it because I'm sure there's people that don't like the Electoral College, but there's a reason it's there because our forefathers didn't want what happened in Britain to happen here. There's a good reason for it. And if you don't believe me, if you say, no, the most votes should win it all the time, really tell that to the guy that got beat up in the Los Angeles riots. You know what I'm saying? Majority doesn't always rule.
Okay.
Because if the majority is going, hey, let's riot, that doesn't make it right.
Right.
So that's why you got to have those checks and balances. And that's what the Electoral College is, Taylor. But anyway, we'll go on. Jessica.
Well, see, I could care less about what they were talking about. The fact that they were having a conversation where Taylor was not talking about cutting Adam's head off.
Yes.
And the fact that they were not even talking strategy. They were talking life.
Yeah.
And it was a three-way conversation. They were all talking. I don't know where Adam was, but it's never a good idea to leave the guy that wants to cut your throat alone with two other people that could help him.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure this was just a one-moment thing, but I took it as, wow, they're talking. And Jessica's comment was Taylor is likable. You know, he probably couldn't understand strategy if you poured it on his head or if you tried to explain it to him, but he's likable, which makes him a better candidate possibly to take further than somebody who's smart. And
that's right.
Pull a big flip on you. So that's why, to me, this conversation was important. It wasn't about the politics. It was about the tone and the social aspect of having a conversation like this. If you don't like somebody, you're not going to talk to them.
Right. And Jessica says he may not always sound the brightest, but basically what I think she meant was, but he tells you what he's thinking.
He's honest.
Which is great for them.
Yes.
That means he's not being strategic at all. Mm-hmm. So she wisely says Taylor wouldn't understand strategy, just like you said. Maybe that's better than Adam, who's very strategic. Yes, it is. Who do you want with you? You want the guy that's not thinking more than you are.
Which is exactly. Or at least the guy you know what he's thinking.
Yeah, you know exactly what he's thinking.
Which is why Adam. Which is why Michelle wanted to keep Figgy, and which is why they probably should have kept Paul, because they knew where he was or they knew what he was thinking. And this is way backseat driving, but still, it brings up a very interesting case, and it's which could be bad depending on the group that Adam gets with. It could be bad for Adam if Jessica and Ken decide to take Taylor with them to whatever group they go to.
Right.
So
this is where I wrote, I really like Jessica. I'm enjoying watching the way she's playing. Now, could she have, little tongue in cheek here, filled the Figgy gap for Taylor and really secured him?
No.
You don't think so?
I think it's more like an older sister thing, big sister thing.
I'm just saying she could have, like snuggled up in the camp, and I know Figgy's gone. You can be my vote. Let me be your sugar mama.
Oh, the chat room just emptied out. Okay, here we go. Let's move on. Just kidding.
Boy, you don't like some of my jokes, do you?
No, was that a joke? I'm sorry.
Well, I wasn't serious. Ikabula, day 20. Michaela talking about, I love this scene with Michaela. He's like, you don't feel anything crawling on you, Michaela. You don't hear a buzzing. No, it's all perfectly fine. I could just imagine myself saying that when I'm laying in the shelter. No, that's not a bug crawling on me. That's my wife's finger on my arm. Yes, that's what that is.
That's not the sun coming up. I fell asleep at some point tonight.
Yeah. But one thing I did like, she compares, this girl has got some confidence. She compares herself to Steve Jobs and Michael Jordan. Way to go.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. If you don't like me, then, get out of the store or vote me off. Okay. Brian, that's not an anaconda eating your foot, Michaela.
It's just a pillowcase coming to get you.
Yeah. Then we get a little what's going to happen with Brett later on, because Hannah's like, Sunday is so sweet, so we get a little bit of Sunday, but then it's Brett is suspicious to me. He's lying. And I wrote, this is why I wouldn't lie about my job. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie about my job, because even though the elephant in the room is that everybody lies on Survivor, when you get caught lying on Survivor, it's horrible. Kind of like in politics. Everybody lies in politics, but when you get caught, you're bad because no one lies in politics. So on Survivor, when you get caught, it's bad because no one lies in Survivor.
That's right. Because if you're not lying, it's not Survivor.
That's right. So it's kind of ironic, isn't it?
But at least it is. But at least pick a job that's closer to your field that you can describe.
Like you're a private investigator.
Or you're a security guard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a mall cop.
Now, he would probably come across too smart for that. Sorry.
It's all right, man.
What in the world is it?
Afternoon delight.
But anyway, I like that Hannah leads into this by saying they really. I mean, we hear a lot about this tribe liking each other. They get along great. You know, Uncle Brett and Mama Sunday, yada yada. And Hannah goes, "Yeah, it's great. This feeling of unity, but it's a mirage. You know, one of those two are going first."
Yeah.
And I really like her strategy of I want to keep throwing shade on these two guys, and she's talking about the other shade that you're referring to.
The millennial shade.
Yes, I want to throw millennial shade on these two to make sure these two are all we're focused on voting out, because she knows that she could be seen as weak. I think she's still worried about being seen as weak.
Right.
And in case there's another challenge, you know, you got people like Michaela and Jay who are super strong, can look at Hannah and say, you know what, she's our weak point. We need to stay strong and vote her out. So she's smart in keeping the shade on those two. They're not us. They're different. We need to keep those two as our targets. So pile on Brett. You know, I think she's closer to Sunday. So pile on Brett first. But yeah.
Jessica. Just look at what she wrote in the chat.
I did. I knew that. That's why I was not laughing at what
you couldn't.
I smiled.
Dude.
I smiled.
I also love that Hannah thought about how much she mistrusted Brett so much that she gave a specific percentage.
Exactly.
He said, you know, I'm like 70% sure, not 80, not 90, not 49, but 70% sure.
Yeah. Almost more than 65. Yeah.
So he sounds like every cop I ever met, Hannah says. So.
And Jay says every cop I'd run away from, because apparently
I love
that's all he does.
Yeah.
You know, if you take away the accent, you put him in Florida, put him in a uniform, I'm going to run away from him.
No, well, I mean, he's like every time I start a bonfire on the beach.
I know, but still. Why couldn't they just get the edit right there? I'm going to run away from him.
Yeah, but what else does he say that's important for later on? That matters because he's already lying to my face.
Yeah, that he can't trust him.
Yeah, he's already lying to my face. Again,
all about trust.
Everybody lies, and yet it's wrong when you get caught in the show in politics. All right, immunity challenge, day 20. Once again, Will sits out. This is either amazing strategy on his part or something else.
Well, if you look at the pairings, they take turns. Either Brett and Sunday sit out or Will and Hannah sit out, because Michaela and Jay are not sitting out, and they're down to 4. So it's the two pairs now. They take turns sitting out. It's basically what it's coming down to. Jay and Michaela are not sitting out because they want to win.
No.
But
you couldn't make Michaela sit out. Can you imagine trying to get Michaela to sit out? She'd slap you.
She didn't want to come off the slingshot at one point.
That's right. You know, we ought to tell Jessica what happens on Survivor stays in Survivor. Just for I mean, if you had to win, just snuggle. We're not saying anything inappropriate. Whatever it takes. Let's see. Gets down to Michelle struggling with what?
She doesn't need him. He needs them. So he's the one.
I'm just saying, you can have him in your back pocket if you let him.
Because he's there for the taking. You're right. He's selling them.
No, she doesn't need to do that. Besides, anyway. Gets down to Michelle struggling with the numbers, and I'm like, this isn't even a puzzle. In fact, this isn't who's good at puzzles. This is who's got a logical mind, right? It's not a puzzle. It's just a process of elimination.
Right.
And I think what they thought was, well, let's send her there because she's good at puzzles, because we know she's good at puzzles.
Right.
You understand what I mean, right? Because this isn't, it's 6 options. You start with one number and put the other 2 numbers. That didn't work. So you swap the numbers and you do the other. I mean, literally, you've got it in 5. Yeah,
all of them could have done it. What I liked was that Adam ran past the banner and then stood at the puzzle and looked back at the banner. Michaela stopped to look at the numbers, and they called him out to her. But Adam, I didn't realize it was going to be on the back of the banner as well.
Oh yeah.
He never stopped. He ran all the way to the box and turned around and did his numbers from there.
Yeah.
That was pretty quick.
One thing I noticed was I was thinking, well, heck, if I'm Michelle, I'm just looking over and seeing what the combination is. But they covered them. Did you see that?
No, I didn't, but it was also pretty far over. How did they cover them?
They had it covered with like a brown tarp. Like
okay.
Yeah. And I'm going to bring this up because I think there's a reason for it, and I'm not sure why. But we get another situation where CBS shows us Zeke talking under his breath about someone to someone else. I think she's having a meltdown. This is like the 3rd time they've shown this. I don't know why. I'm not speculating, but I'm thinking I'm thinking this is something specific they want us to know about Zeke.
Absolutely agree.
So
now, I remember him asking if David was throwing that other challenge. What do you think the other one was?
I don't remember what it was. And it may not be 3 times, but they've done it twice. And the point is, it's like that's kind of I'm sowing a seed.
So you're drinking from my Kool-Aid now. You're seeing all these little things that are gonna come back to build up to something.
I'm not drinking your Kool-Aid.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
That's great. See, I got from this, like I said earlier, Michelle told David that was nice when he finally made a coconut into the basket. Yeah. Just the little things, Zeke and Chris didn't tell him anything. Right. And then when it was over, Ken gets the last shot and he turns and here comes Adam and Taylor and Ken goes right to Taylor. If you watch, it's a very awkward celebration for Adam. He goes to join in, but he's kind of pushed out. Yeah. That little celebration. And I'm like, from us. They're celebrating, yes, but at the same time, Ken goes to Taylor. I was like, maybe Ken's not Adam's friend anymore. Or I don't know. I wonder, that's what I said, I wonder where Jessica and Ken are going to be now going into the merge.
Right. By the way, we have several viewers that aren't in our chat room, and I know that YouTube kind of has this little chat window. That's not the one we're talking about. If you want to join our chat room while we're talking, just go to chatwing.com/STWDD. Chatwing, chatwing.com/STWDD and join that chat room. I don't know what's going on over on YouTube. I probably ought to turn off chat on YouTube. So
yeah, you should.
But anyway, Ken wins immunity and first place for Takali, which is important for those of us playing the D&D Survivor Challenge. And then Ikabula loses. Have you ever noticed what? Oh.
So I'm gonna let him finish his point when he comes back. But Jay got the confessional after that immunity win, in that the Millennials he almost looked bored. Jay, give us a pre-tribal council post-win confessional. All right, the Millennials have to come together, and Brett's lying, so he has to go home.
Yeah.
So what do we notice?
Do I sound better now?
Yes. Yeah. Finish your point.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
In like 10 years, I'm going to come back on the Rob Has a Podcast and go, I used to be on D&D.
Wow. Survivor's on 10 years from now, and you're on that podcast. That'll be because I'm on Survivor. So
that's right. All right. Where was I? Let's see.
You were making a point about something, or do you ever notice?
Oh, yeah. Have you ever noticed how Jeff's shoes always look new compared to the other players' shoes?
He has a sponsor. I wish we had a shoe sponsor.
Yeah, I know. But we were going to get a sock sponsor, and they never called me back.
I would wear
look, sponsors, we have 20,000 downloads a month. I know it's not 100,000, but it's 20,000.
Mm-hmm.
And like the show we're doing right now, 2 years from now, people will still be downloading it. People are still downloading our One World podcasts.
Really?
We had what, 20 people listening to the show back then?
You haven't deleted it?
No. Hi, Tina from Parts Unknown. Where are you at now, Tina? Or are you allowed to tell us? She's in the chat room. All right. Final confessional is who?
Jay.
And what does he say?
Well, actually, I already said it while you were fixing your mic, but yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Brett's got to go. Millennials have to stay together. Brett's got to go. Period. Done deal. Let's go to travel.
Yeah. Ikabula, day 20. Awkward silence.
All quiet on the log.
Here, let us do that, David. Ready? Day 20, Ikabula. Exactly. They don't even have any music. Hey, she's up where you are, David. Oh, no, she's not. You're in South Carolina. No, not. You're in Virginia. She's up with you.
Oh, my God. You used to live in South Carolina. You're getting you and I mixed up again. I love it. And it's the people that are in trouble get the first conversation, which is not a conversation on the log. They look at each other like, Sunday's like, are we going to be able to do anything? And Brett's like, I don't think so.
This is why Sunday and Brett cannot and will not win this game. I'm sorry, Sunday and Brett. I know Sunday listens to the show. I'm sorry, Sunday. But you're just going to sit back and let it happen. I mean, and that's not us speculating. That is them telling each other, oh, well, I'll vote for you. You vote for me. There's nothing we can do. Really? Why not at least go to somebody and go, hey, you want to use me for something? You want to make something happen? No. They're just going to sit back and let it happen.
I'm going to play devil's advocate. advocate in defense of that, because we can't see, because for one, those 4 were probably under orders between the 4 not to separate, stay together.
No.
Don't talk to anybody. You think those 2 just said, okay, they're not going to talk to us, I guess we're done. I have a hard time believing that.
I do.
You've gotten past the halfway point. And Sunday is close to, I would say, at least Hannah. And she's not going to try and talk to Hannah. But Michaela's looking at Hannah as if you get off this log, I'm going to rip your head off. And they can't. So the only people that will get up and walk are each other. Now, what they talked about in the water, I am totally disagreement with voting for each other, unless one of them was going to say, you know what, I told Dwaine to vote with them, to vote me, because if he makes it, he needs to look loyal. And then I'm going to vote for him, or yada yada. But then you switch your vote at the last minute. But even I mean, what they said, I didn't agree with necessarily. You're 6 people. If they're going to split the votes, you pick out one person, especially like Michaela or Jay, and you throw votes their way. And then when the tiebreaker comes up, something could happen that the players that are left voting, because it won't be us, they might say, you know what? This is our chance to take out Michaela or Jay.
Right.
Maybe we do that now. Don't give in. Don't just vote for each other to look good, because you're going to be the next one to go.
I know. You don't have a charging cable that I can borrow, do you?
I do. Fax it to you.
Okay. So just a second ago, you said my name, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa, what? Same thing happened to me last night at the David Phelps concert. If you follow, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, I posted some live video where I was at last night. So Phelps is announcing his band, and I'm kind of, checking, see if I have any new gigs on Fiverr or anything like that. And I hear, and my guitar player is Dwaine. And I went, what? Why is he calling me out? Why? What did I do?
You want me to come sing?
Yeah. You want me to come sing with you, David? I mean, I'm not as good as you, but okay.
I heard about this worship pastor from Athens.
He's written some songs that no one seems to want to buy, so I'm going to use one and make him rich. Oh, well. Anyway.
But I tend to believe that they tried and got nowhere, and that's why they walked off by themselves. I mean, I tend to disagree. I'm going to be an optimist.
I disagree, because we got Jay and Will off by themselves.
After
Michaela wasn't looking over their shoulder.
See, that's my question is, I really think the reason that we got only a snippet of that subterfuge, that's backstabbing, was because it happened right before lockdown. Yeah. I think that I'm telling you, if you think that Sunday and Brett looked at each other and just said, oh, well, got up and walked to the ocean, I got to think they tried something. But anyway, it looks like they did just walk off into the ocean. But then when they're with them gone, that was a perfect chance for the foursome to get together and Michaela to reveal her plan.
Coach Michaela.
And then Michaela says, we're all good. And they're like, yeah, we're all good.
Yeah.
And then, all right, let's go get our water. Let's get our stuff, get ready to go to travel. And Jay has an epiphany. Yeah. Grabs Will and says, hey, let's go get our water jugs or get to the well. And hey, dude, did you hear that? And there it is.
I'm sorry, David, but your whole theory is shot.
How?
Because Brett and Sunday voted with Jay and Will.
Yeah. So they told him last minute. That's what I'm saying. Why did we get that conversation? How fast did it happen?
But you said they couldn't get to talk to them.
No. I didn't say they couldn't talk to them. I said that as they were telling them to get ready, they probably gave them a 30-minute. If they give them like a 30-minute countdown.
All right.
And then one of them had to go. Question is, did they trust? Who did they talk to? Who talked to Brett and Sunday? Which one did they trust? Did they talk to Jay?
You're not going to let Will do that. Hey, Brett and Sunday, I hope no one hears me talking. If I'm Jay, I ain't letting Brett do that. I mean, Will do that.
Yeah. It just seemed really last minute. So you're right. I would love to know when and how they talked to him.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay. Brett and Sunday, Coach Michaela. Okay. This shows Jay so much. She is thinking very long-term, even to the point of breaking it down person by person.
Right.
She is completely trusting us, Jay's thinking. She is very strategic, already knows she's strong physically. But now this is just like, this is a game plan. I need this girl out. It's just like, and Jay even says, Michaela's a smart girl, and that's a problem. She's a huge threat. She should go home before the merge.
Somebody that's strong, somebody that's smart, and her only alliance, though, is us.
Right. You know what else?
What?
Will made a comment that Jay was quiet about afterwards. She's thinking way too long term. I'm thinking Jay's going, no, I'm thinking that long term also, but I'm not saying it out loud.
Yes. In fact, I like her playing so much, I want to use it and not her. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, that doesn't look, and like you said, Sunday and Brett won't win for what we noticed here. Will won't win for what we noticed here as well.
Right.
You have to think long term. You can't play long term necessarily, but you have to think long term.
Yeah.
And you're right, Michaela just should never have put her playing out in public.
Well, like I said, Michaela's playing like she's on the Dallas Cowboys, and no one's going to betray her. You know, she's just she's playing poker with her hands down, with her cards up on the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think Michaela would be good to play again, because I think Michaela will learn from this.
Yeah,
I could see Michaela winning later on.
She shows the skills and the mentality to play, and she's also great to camera. She gives great confessionals.
Oh, so, man, you know what? I'm going to call it Michaela. Michaela's going to play again.
One mistake, right, and then she get a chance to play again. So,
yeah. Will and Jay, don't tell Hannah. She knows Jay has the idol. She could call you out. Why didn't Michaela call him out? Maybe because in her mind, we're all a team, and even though I'm really mad at you, I'm not going to call you out.
Well, in her exit interviews, which given 36 hours to wait for the podcast, I got to read a few. She talks about a couple different things in different exit interviews. She talks about one, she was so upset and wrapped up, she didn't think about it. Then later on, she thought she could have done it and gone back and got it when she got her shoes. At the same time, she's not somebody to throw salt in somebody's plans. You know, they were friends. She revealed that they were tight. And that goes back to the fact that Jay had somebody he could trust and that she was loyal to. And she, you know, in the long term, she probably would have chosen not to do it. But yeah, she absolutely kind of done it. But I think she mentioned she was so wrapped up in the moment, she just was too frustrated to say anything about it.
Yeah. All right, Tribal Council. The second time I watched it, I didn't take any notes. I just took it all in. So do you have any notes?
The second time I watched it, I took a lot of notes because I didn't really like what I thought we were getting from Probst.
Oh, okay.
In the sense that we saw, I think it was Thursday morning, somebody posted a video of Probst saying, I don't want anybody getting voted out. I like everybody, and I hate when somebody gets voted out. So you don't want to miss this week's Survivor. I've never seen that video before. I've never seen him do anything like that before. And if I had seen it before the episode, I'd have been pretty upset because that would have told me somebody big like Zeke or David or Michaela was going to go home.
Yes.
So when I listened to it the second time, Probst had a couple lines of questioning to me were a tip off to Jay and or Will to say, are you sure you want to do this? Because we know, and I don't think we're spoiling anything, in our past interviews, they do question survivors before Tribal Council. You know, are you thinking about playing your idol? Do you think you have a reason to play your idol? We've talked to idol owners who have mentioned this. They said, yes, they do talk to us about that. I brought it because I was thinking about playing it. They just want to know if we're thinking about it, you know, what's going to happen, what's being said. And the fact that Jay and Will were talking about Michaela, and the fact that they got to Sunday and Brett, that it was put in motion, at least on Sunday and Brett's side. So Probst asked, Michaela talks about how the majorities of the other tribes were sketchy people anyway. We four are not sketchy. That's why those people voted for their own people and got rid of them. They voted opposites.
Right.
What they should have voted. That was a really good point. But then Probst mentions that Sunday and Brett may know people from the other tribes that you don't know. But with these four, you know them. You can trust them since day one. These four are solid. If there's ever a four in this show that's going to be solid in this season, it's these four.
Right.
So Brett and Sunday are probably going to leave you as soon as you merge. But these four are solid. So that might be something to think about. And then he asked Will, as important as trust is, as gameplay passed it by, he says, is Survivor now temporary voting blocks and temporary alliances, and you blindside someone at any time playing like a Maverick type of game? You know, and Will says that is a Tony, well, I'll say it correctly, Flacco's
type of
game. Yeah. People you see playing that are way crazy, you know, are really crazy. Trust is rare. If you find it, latch onto it. And I'm just thinking, as a production person, as a producer, Probst does not want Michaela leaving the game yet. That's my tinfoil hat opinion.
Right.
I wouldn't either. She's great for the game. She's going to give you great sound bites. And he's got with that she's leaving, and he brings up these points of trust. Trust is important. You want to go with numbers into the merge. And this is why I feel like Jay made a mistake voting Kayla out at this tribal council.
There you go.
So that's what I got watching the second time.
Okay. I don't think he made a mistake, but really, I want to talk about that when we get to feedback more so, because we're going to have a lot of feedback about that. So there's no need for us to invent the wheel just for it to be reinvented. Okay. For me, like Hannah's reaction, she's going to be the one that's like, kind of merge happens. Okay. Who's going to take me in? Who's going to take me in? She's going to be the one looking.
This is where people are going to go back, because I think the tribes are almost done. And I think I also said a while back that this is like college football. If you want to play in the playoffs at the end with one loss, you need to lose early. So the tribe that cracks first has a chance to repair itself. The tribe that cracks last, like what just happened to the Millennials,
right?
To me is going to be in more danger. Could be in more danger.
Yeah. Thank you, Tina, in the chat room, for reminding me how awesome the stare down was. Even stops Probst in the middle of his reading of names. When she got that third name and she goes, "What?" and she looks at Will first, and Will's like, she looks at Jay, and Jay is just like confident and staring right at her. And she tries to stare him down and doesn't succeed. She turns away first. He's like, "Yes, I did. Sorry." Doesn't turn his eyes away. Very confident. I love the move. I love what he did. And I actually also think it's smart.
If he really wanted to drive a stake in that heart, he should have said, "Say hi to Figgy for me."
Well, she's not voting, so
I know she's in the pre-merge with Figgy.
Which is another reason why I did the move. Get her out before she's a voter. Get her out before the merge, where she's gonna kick butt in challenges. Get her out while you can.
All right. Are we going to talk about it now? Now?
Okay. We won't.
Come on, let's talk about it now.
But we have lots of feedback.
I'll be quick.
Okay.
I think it's too early for the reason that, one, we're down to 13 people now?
Yes.
There's going to be at least 10 individual immunity challenges. And if she wins all 10, she deserves to win. Nobody else should even go to final tribal with her if she wins all 10. However, she is your friend. She even admits in exit interviews, we were buds. We were close. He was one of the first people. She said she felt like an outcast in the very beginning. Jay was one of the first people that reached out to her and made her feel comfortable. So she trusted Jay, which is why this reaction is so real.
Right.
Why do it now when you need numbers for security going into the merge? Why not go to the merge, take her out there so that it doesn't all point at you? Yes, she won't vote for him now, but she's not on the jury. It doesn't matter. If she goes to the jury blindsided by David, Jay gets her vote. I just think it's too early. I have no problem voting her out. She is super smart, super strong, super likable. I just think it's too early because she would be a vote for Jay if he can work so that somebody else takes her out. So the point is getting to the end, but the point is also making sure the jury will vote for you when you get to the end.
Okay.
So I just think it was too early. Because she's the one person that trusts Jay. Jay is the one person she really likes from the beginning. And he even said that and still voted her out. So I just think it's too early.
Okay. All right. Well, I think we're done with the recap.
Yep.
Have you finished your Christmas shopping? Well, don't be like David and Dwaine and wait till the last minute to get it done. Do it now and use their Amazon link when you do. Not only will you get all your Christmas shopping done, but you'll also be helping support these guys and their great podcasts. So always use stwdd.com/Amazon when you start your shopping, or make it even easier and just use their links on their website. Now back to D&D.
Yeah, I need to use a different audio track.
I thought you were going to play a retro clip from that because looking at your overlay, I was like, boy, is he going back 6 years or what? Doing it old overlay.
No. I just want people to shop Amazon. It's Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And I am an Amazon affiliate. Therefore, now you know. All right. It is time for
everybody sit back It's time for feedback. Our listeners have to say what's on their minds today. D&D will hear you. D&D will read you. D&D will take the time to take your lines, analyze, and feel you. It's feedback. Survivor Talk with D&D. Take and listen to feedback, y'all. That's right.
There you go. Mark, I need a feedback overlay and an Amazon overlay to put on those things.
Oh, if he watches the YouTube channel, he'll say, "Oh my gosh, he needs an overlay."
No, he tends to let me tell him what I need. I mean, there's no need to do work that you don't have to do. That music was by one of our listeners, Amy Jo McCauley, and I used some of my voiceover money to pay Burton M6 on Fiverr.com to record that. Thank you very much. Listener feedback is sponsored by BuffUSA.com. Use the link BuffUSA.com/SurvivorTalk33 so that we can continue to give away buffs on our feedback. We are going to give away a buff right after we go through all of this amazing feedback. What time is it? 10:43. David, we've already been. Oh, this is going to be fun. All right, we're ready. This is Mark Percy. Before this episode, I would have never predicted Michaela going home, but as the episode aired, I could see it. Of course, here we go again. Everybody's saying they saw it coming.
You didn't see it coming?
Oh, shut up. No,
well, the lack of Sunday and Brett confessionals led me to believe, wow, either they're going to send them out on a whimper or something else is going to come up. And right before the tribal, we got Jay.
Now, right before tribal, I figured Michaela was going home, but not during the episode, like all these people claim. Once Jay mentioned she was a threat, I knew it was going to happen. Right. Okay. I'm sorry, David. I didn't realize how much this bothers me. You people really think that you knew it was going to happen? Oh. And I posted that on and Will the Giant Ninja even put in Facebook group, yes, Dwayne, we all know, and you're just stupid.
He says as the episode aired, he could be talking about the 50th minute.
No, he said once Jay mentioned she was a threat, I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, that was the 50th minute. But I see what you're saying. I got you.
The question is, was it a good move or not? The positive is that she won't be on the jury to have a say in anything going forward, and she won't be an immunity threat. But the bad things are he lost an ally, and possibly two, since Hannah was blown away by it. Time will tell. Yeah, I think you can get Hannah back anytime. So,
what did she say in next time on? She wants to take revenge. See, these millennials are all about revenge. Yeah. Taylor wants revenge. Hannah wants revenge.
Yeah. See what Tina wrote in the chat room? After the merge, the millennials will be schooled. Spoken like a true Gen Xer. That's right. The preview shows the merge is next week. So we have the following people left. Gen X, we have Ken, Brett, Sunday, Chris, David, Jessica. Millennials, Taylor, Adam, Zeke, Michelle, Hannah, Jay, and Will. One would think the millennials have the advantage, but Adam is teamed up with Ken and Jessica, and Taylor said he is with Ken and Jessica, but we'll see if that is true. Chris, Brett, and Sunday reunite. Zeke and David, along with Ken and Jessica, could be a strong group. Whoa, what happened to Zeke being with Chris, Mark? Zeke is tight with Chris. All right, anyway. Jay, Will, and maybe Hannah, along with Michelle. There are a lot of small groups that could make the post-merge game interesting if they stick together. The season lost a great character tonight, and hopefully we will get to see her again. But she wasn't a spectacular player. No, but she could be. That's my point. The show will be less fun without her, but there are plenty of characters left. Can't wait, Mark Percy. Thank you, Mark. This is why we say we read, listen to, and respond to your feedback, because sometimes we just can't keep our mouths shut.
Next up is Becky Davis, and she says, holy cow, I was legit scared for Jay when Michaela realized she was being voted out. She looked like she wanted to slap the taste right out of his mouth.
Yes.
I must say, I would have done the same thing the four did at tribal council, including not telling Hannah. Absolutely, because she would never have been able to keep that secret. Good move, especially with some of her comments. She got a little too cocky the last week. I was surprised she didn't tell them about the hidden immunity idol. Maybe she did, and they cut it out. Overall, I enjoyed the episode. No, she did not tell them about the hidden immunity idol. No, she reveals that in a lot of her exit interviews. But we would have definitely seen that if she did.
Yeah. Thank you, Becky. Next is Dave Holdsworth. Greetings from the backwoods of New Jersey. Jersey has backwoods? I didn't know that. The pain. I am devastated at the loss of the force of nature known as Michaela. She was like the challenged love child of Terry Dietz and Ozzy, but without a filter. Okay, how are Terry Dietz and Ozzy going to have a love child?
Yeah, I was thinking more like Terry Dietz and Kim Spradlin or something, but
I'm really sad to see her go. But that was a self-inflicted wound. She was a challenged beast, and with the merge imminent, that put a target on her. She also apparently thought it was a good idea to hold a Strategy 101 course for the rest of her Millennial tribe mates, complete with props and diagrams to explain in childlike terms where things stood and what they should do. Tribe mates? Mind blown, and her target grew. But the cherry on the sundae, and I'm not talking about Sunday the player, was when Jeff announced that Figgy had been voted out. Did Michaela stay calm or look upset that one of her supposed millennials in arms had been sent home? No, she had to make a show of it, laugh, and throw Figgy under the bus, thereby ostracizing herself even more from the millennials. Although we weren't shown anything, I suspect that Taylor was mouthing, "Get rid of Michaela," to Jay off camera. And with that, the target that Michaela built for herself, piece by piece, was complete. So David was worried about not being that connected to Chris and decides the best strategy is to share the fact that he has an idol with Zeke, who idolizes, pun intended, Chris. Dumb move, David. That's going to bite you at some point. Yes, I agree. As I said earlier. Will took part in an immunity challenge. Amazing. No, he didn't. Did he? Oh, yeah, he did. He didn't take part in the reward challenge.
No, he was in the reward, not in the immunity. Because he was beating the ball through the net in the reward.
Yeah. So this is incorrect, Dave. Sorry. He took part in a reward challenge. Oh, no. Maybe I should read his feedback before I comment. Will took part in an immunity challenge. Amazing. Oh, wait, I must have drifted off there. Nope. Will sat another immunity challenge out. Huge surprise. Wouldn't it be hilarious if he coasts to the end as a goat and actually wins final immunity? Yeah. Nice. If you're going to lie about what you do for a living, at least pick something you are knowledgeable about. Come on, Brett. I'm too lazy to research it, but do cops really get targeted because of their jobs to the point that they need to pretend they are something else? Dwaine here thinking Tony Vlachos. My opinion only, but that kind of behavior is hard to keep up and can do more harm than good for your game. Then again, I always have wanted to be a marine biologist like George on Seinfeld. So if I ever get on Survivor or the DWSC, I think I'm going to go with that as my job. Looking forward to the merge next week. Keep up the great work, D&D, and remember to set your clocks back Saturday night. Dave Holdsworth.
I'd have to look back, but I think he's sent us feedback from all different parts of New Jersey. Didn't he say the plains of New Jersey one time or something?
See, now you're catching on that edit thing that I wasn't catching on.
So if you were going to change your job for Survivor, what job would you pick that you could pass with? What kind of occupation could you share that you could get away with?
I don't know. I really don't know.
See, this is why you'll never play Survivor. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I would say what I do.
You could. Well, then, I mean, you could be judged for that. You know, you could be a music teacher. I mean, you're obviously smart.
No, because I don't know all the ins and outs of the school system.
You could make it up.
No, I couldn't. Not if there was a teacher out there. If there's a teacher out there and they start talking, what about the teachers union? And I mean, like, I don't.
I'm a private school music teacher. I'm a private school tutor. I only tutor one child. It's in one.
I'm independently wealthy, but I don't have any money. So no, I don't have an answer for that. I suppose you do, because and I know what yours is going to be. Go ahead.
What?
Well, you went to school for it.
No, I wouldn't be a police officer. I wouldn't say I'm a police officer if that's my lie.
So what would your lie be?
I don't know. I mean,
you don't need a lie. You work on phone lines.
Exactly. I'm a communication guy. So.
Yeah. We better get him out. He knows how to run an Ethernet cable.
See, that was funny. That was good. Where's my applause button? Okay. Let's go to Patrick Vaughn from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hello, Dwaine and David. Relatively.
Wait. I wanted to explain that, if I had known what Dave was going to say in his feedback, I wouldn't have done what I did. But if I read all the feedback before the show, it would influence my recap of the show. So that's why we read the feedback raw. Okay, go ahead.
There you go. That's why I don't listen to podcasts before the show, because I don't want to be influenced. And I also don't want to talk about other podcasts on our podcast. I don't see the point. Although I did read the exit interviews this week. That was good. Because I wanted to know. I already got rid of his name. Let's see. This is
Patrick Vaughn.
From Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hello, Dwaine and David. Relatively new listener just for this awesome season, but have watched every episode since season 1. Well, if you want to join the 22,000 people that have already downloaded old podcast, you are more than welcome to go back.
Feel free.
Listen to that mess.
Starting at One World.
That's right. Well, this was definitely a surprise episode for me. Oh, just like you, Dwaine, you can relate. Once again, we have a start right after travel where the person who made a move, Adam, just has to speak about why he voted the way he did. I don't believe that Adam helped his case with Taylor at all with his explanation. Missed opportunity.
I agree.
David telling Zeke about the idol. I haven't decided if this is a good move for David, who drives me batty.
Oh, this guy is my soulmate. David drives me batty too.
But good to Zeke getting information without having to try to. I think Zeke will take care of David until it doesn't behoove him any longer. I predict Zeke will be David's downfall.
Okay, are you sure this isn't my feedback?
I was just saying, are you sure you didn't write this feedback? All right. Surprisingly, Ken and Jessica are immediately looking at an opportunity to turn on Adam if they were to go to tribal council again. Really?
Yep.
At the reward challenge, Will and Hannah were a disaster trying to get those balls through the knitting. Yes. So once again, Michaela had to salvage a win, even if it was for second. Let's see. It's like running from the bear. I don't have to beat the bear. Just got to beat you.
That's right.
So props to Hannah figuring out that Brett is a cop. That he's been lying about his profession the whole time. Throwing Jay's comment about how he's been thinking that too was just to give him additional storyline for later in the show in his decision at Tribal.
Hey, your bear joke reminds me of that preview for that new Galifianakis, or however you say his name, movie.
The Joneses, yeah.
Yeah, where he says, get in the car, and he runs. And his wife goes, "What?" He goes, I was trying to get a head start. Yeah, I was trying to get a head start from your wife.
I hope that's as good as the trailer. That trailer is hilarious.
All right, go ahead. Oh, that's hilarious.
See. Props, read that. The immunity challenge really was a crapshoot, as slingshots definitely can be tricky. Being a big guy like Chris definitely helped them pull out that win, even with Michaela's slight frustrating meltdown. Oh, sorry, even with Michelle's slight frustrating meltdown. I don't think she had a meltdown. I think she was just feeling like she'd done everything. Ikabula finally loses, not happy about it. So I'm wondering if this is me talking, if that was Zeke's way of trying to plant that she needs to go, like Hannah's doing with the Gen Xers. So he's not happy about it. Ikabella losing. When they were all sitting on a log, I couldn't help but laugh, since that is something that maybe has never happened after an immunity challenge. Usually it's Scramble City, which really no one did. Michaela was very methodical and had a plan for the end, but unfortunately Jay has now been given the villain edit, taking out one of the primary storytellers of the season. You see the look on his face when Michaela was questioning him? He was so smug. Hopefully she will be on another season. Do you really think he's got the villain in it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could make a case for that, but I don't think there really is a villain yet this season. Michaela is who I have had pegged to win the entire season. So this was a shock, and I now have no idea which way I'm leaning for a winner. At this point, I'm going to have to say that Adam is my new favorite and hope he goes far. Final random thought. I'm really excited that there are going to be 3 hidden immunity idols as well as the legacy all in play as we come to the merge. Hopefully, these will all play major in upcoming votes. I do love a good blindside, even if it's my girl, Michaela. Hopefully this wasn't too much rambling, and I can't wait for the podcast. Patrick. Tulsa.
Thank you, Patrick. All right, Sylvia. Sylvia had a hit in the 80s. Your nobody called today. She hung up when I asked her name. Hi, D&D. Thank you so much for the buff. Big smiley face. Michaela. Frowny face. Oh, boy, was she a threat. Good or bad move? What do you guys think? Jay may win the whole thing. What about the conversation of Adam and Taze? Owning the move is good. At the last tribal council is not. Let's see. Owning the move is good at the last tribal council. At the last tribal council! Exclamation point. Is not it better to say Taylor Figs was putting you in danger with the power couple? I did this for you. I fought to save you instead of Figgy. Probably he would not have bought it regardless. What are your predictions for the merge? Zeke, Adam, Hannah? Thank you so much for everything. I don't have predictions for the merge yet. Do you? I mean,
I don't think Jay's in a great spot going into the merge. That's just my thought. I wouldn't be surprised if the Gen Xers did come back a little, because Brett and Sunday are together, Jessica and Ken are together. Zeke David's the one floating around, and then you got Chris, which I think Chris could still be close to Brett. But these people have been on separated for a week or so now, so I mean it's hard to tell.
Well, we'll have our heads around a little bit more on our D&D extra video, and we'll probably talk about what we think is going to happen at the merge. So, thank you, Sylvia. Why am I reading the next one too?
I don't know. My name was.
Oh, I read yours.
No, I read Patrick.
You read Peter, then you gave yourself Sylvia, then you gave me. All right, I'll just do Charity's. That's fine.
Okay.
This is from Charity. It boggles the mind that Jay and Will just voted out someone that they could trust. Michaela was a fun character to watch this season. I am enjoying the podcast this season. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Charity. Do we know where Charity's from?
No. I'll put it on there.
We're going to assume you're from the United States, so you are eligible for the free buff.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's time for Will the Giant Ninja. Now, David, I'm going to play his feedback in such a way that I could stop it in the middle of it. So if you,
I'm going to make a prediction that the first 30 seconds will probably be non-Survivor related.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. But anyway, if you want me to stop it so you can say something, just raise your hand. Remember the one by your microphone. Okay? Because he likes it when we, talk about his stuff.
Hey for Jack, and holy cow for Harry. What's up, guys? This is Will from Wonder Lake again, a.k.a. the Giant Ninja. So no joke, for the last 16 hours, I have spent more time with tears in my eyes than without. And a lot of it comes from you guys. Last night after the game, I was very happy. I was crying. I had seen something that I had to stop there. I had seen something that I didn't think I would ever really see in my lifetime. And you know what happened after the game? Wendy from South Dakota called me to congratulate me. That's what this family means. That's what Survivor Talk with D&D means. It's people that genuinely love each other with a shared connection to this show, and it's a beautiful thing. Dwaine posting on Facebook after big home runs that he could hear me screaming. Mike K posting on the Facebook group, congratulations to me. You guys know what it means to me. You know what this did, how badly I wanted that, and I really, really do appreciate that. I honestly didn't think that I was going to watch the episode of Survivor this week because I got bigger things on my mind. You know, I've got articles to read and people to talk to and celebrations to be had, and I didn't want to spend an hour watching that. I wanted to listen to, oh man, I had to stop it again. I wanted to listen to the radio. I wanted to hear Cubs fans calling in and talking about what that win meant to them. But you know what? I got tired of crying. It was too emotional. So I used watching Survivor as a way to just take an hour-long break. And since I did that, I thought I might as well send in some feedback. And I knew that this week of all weeks, that David would be very, very unhappy if I didn't send in audio feedback, because I knew he would want to hear it in my voice. And I'm trying to keep it together, guys. I really, really am. Oh, sorry. Hang on. Whew. Okay, that's better. So I wanted to give you a few quick thoughts about my impressions from the episode. I'm just gonna keep it to 3 this time, because there are 3 strikes and an out, 3 outs in a game, and the Cubs have won 3 world championships. Number 1, I am not happy with the editors this season. In my opinion, they are making the boot too obvious. I will admit that it is possible that we are just getting better at reading the edit and seeing what is there that they're laying down, but I also think they're laying it down too thickly. I would not have seen the Michaela boot coming. That would not have occurred to me. It would have blindsided me, but for the Jeff Probst comments and the placement of the confessionals. So that's a little bit too much, guys. You can tell a story without beating us over the head with it. Number 2, Adam, I was absolutely not impressed with the way you played back at camp after the Figgy vote out. You sat down with Newton, who I guess deserves his own name now, and you could have played that much better. You could have told him that he and you could be together from that point on. That you guys could be the new couple. You could have pointed out to him that you put him in a stronger place, but instead all you did was tell Taylor how you made his game worse. You hurt his game. And you just reinforced Taylor's worst opinions about what you did, and I don't think that helped you. Again, in Survivor, never do anything unless it has an upside, and I didn't see an upside to confirming for Taylor the worst thoughts he had about you. And number 3, here comes my unconventional thought. As much as I loved Michaela, loved watching her play, Michaela got voted out because of Michaela. It's her fault that she got voted out. Yes, she was blindsided. Yes, she had an alliance that she was counting on who backstabbed her, but she was loyal to them. They didn't know that. That's on her. That's her fault. I truly believe that Michaela would have gone to the end, to at least the Final 4, with the 3 millennials that she was there with, and they didn't trust her. That's on you, Michaela. So bye, Felicia. And with that, I'm going to go back to enjoying this moment that I've been waiting literally my entire life for. I'm about to walk into a store to buy all of my kids some World Series championship t-shirts to wear to school tomorrow. We are celebrating because Cubs win. Cubs win. Holy cow. Later, peeps. Will.
Oh, my bad. Hold on. I can't believe I did that.
Hey,
hold on,
Jack. Will at the Giant Ninja.
That was awesome.
That's historical for the biggest guy that listens to us to be broken down like that in for a good reason.
Yeah.
We watched when the Cubs won the National League pennant, that game. Terry and I watched, and both got choked up because we played a lot of sports growing up, and to see not only somebody win something, but to celebrate something that big. And it was the fans. It wasn't the players. It was the fans, the old lady sitting in her chair who couldn't stand up, but still cheering. All the fathers and sons hugging and stuff. And we're like, wow. And Terry said, sorry, so who's in the World Series? I said, Cubs and Indians. She goes, who are we pulling for? I said, we're pulling for Will's team. She goes, is that the Cubs that we just saw win? I said, yeah, that's the Cubs that we just saw win. I said, it's historical. I said, but we got a good friend. I said, this would explode his heart. So I would really love to see the Cubs win.
Yeah, I was going for the Cubs, not so much for Will, but because of the 108 years. Like if Cleveland had been playing almost anybody else, I'd have been going for Cleveland.
Exactly.
Because neither one of them are my team.
Right.
I mean, I'm a Rangers fan. So, but we have another fan who used to be a whole lot more active. It kind of depends on the season when he gets active, and that's Mike in Cleveland.
Yeah.
And he's probably just as big of a fan for Cleveland as Will is for the Cubs. And it was interesting to, see some of Mike and Cleveland's posts about the game and how this was the first season the first postseason that he didn't get to go to the actual games because the prices were just ridiculously too high, and how disappointing it was for him and everything. So, but no matter who you are, if that Game 7 has got to be one of the best baseball games I've ever seen. Not just a Game 7 of a World Series. That just added to it. But my goodness, what a game. Oh, my goodness.
And then they pulled out a tarp in the ninth inning.
Which probably helped the Cubs win.
I got to go to work tomorrow. Please let them play.
Yeah, you went to bed at what, 1:30?
Something like that. Oh, as soon as it was over, I was walking to the bedroom. I watched the celebration in the bedroom to finish.
Yeah, man, but what a game. So
I just want to talk about one point in particular, and it's not so much what he said, but he made a good point about not being impressed with the way Adam talked to Taylor. And Adam's not dumb. I mean, Jessica points that out. He's not dumb. I think Adam gave Taylor an explanation, but I don't think we got it because I don't think it plays to Adam getting to the end.
Yeah.
I think what Adam said is going to make a story as to why Taylor takes out Adam, which I don't want to happen. But I think the reason we didn't get Adam's explanation, which I think Adam would have given one, is because it's not going to matter when Adam gets voted out.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, so I agree with Will. I didn't like what he said, but I don't think that's all Adam said.
Right. And by the way, you heard Siri do it. That was he's one of our patrons, and he won the free signed shirt or mug. So
well, he's got T-shirts now that he's going to be wearing for a year from the Cubs.
Yeah, he'll never wear our shirt, so he's bound to get a mug. Yeah. By the way, speaking of these mugs, these are the mugs that I'm showing them on the YouTube channel. These are the mugs that why did my mind just go blank? Played Survivor at DWSC. Nina Porsche. Mm-hmm. I love those colors. But if you've been wondering what about these mugs they're talking about, that's what they look like. That's the front, our faces, and the back is the logo. I like them. In fact, I'm going to get me like an orange one or something. I like them.
I should probably have one since my face is actually on something I could put
on. Yeah, it is. Well, I'll order you one, David. All right. Next we have Wendy from South Dakota. Wendy's like been with us a very long time.
Hey, David and Dwaine. It's Wendy from South Dakota. Firstly, I want to say congratulations to Will in Wonder Lake for his Cubs winning. And I want to say I'm sorry to Mike in Cleveland for the Indians losing. Happy and sad. It's like that, those theater masks, the happy and the sad theater mask. Anyway, done with that. On to the episode. I thought the editors did a really good job this week of showing all three tribes and who possibly might go home instead of they tend to just show one or maybe two, and then it's just fairly obvious of who's going to lose the challenge. So I thought they did a better job this week of that. I also loved the first challenge, specifically the end, because it was new and different, and I always like it when they find something new and different. Not that I don't like, the classic challenges like the holding on to a pole challenge or, there's a lot of the classic ones that I like, but it's always nice to see something new. Michaela, everyone had been going on and on about Michaela, and I just couldn't see what everybody loved so much about Michaela. And then this episode, I'm like, dang, I really like Michaela. And then she goes home. That sucks so bad. Although I'm pretty sure we're going to see her again. The thing about Michaela, and they did a clip of her in the show talking about it, about being too strong and winning too much. And it's almost like she has that personality where it's like she recognizes that it's happening, but she can't help herself because she's a winner and she's a trier, and she just doesn't have it in her to not try. And I admire that in her. I also loved her final words after she got really mad at Tribal. I like that even though she just had a really crushing moment, she still had the positivity and frame of mind to say, I'm still going to make a bunch of money, or I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was still just like a super positive mindset. And it's a rare thing to see, that super positive mindset, even in the face of adversity. So farewell, Michaela. You will be missed. That's all I have today. Y'all take care. Hey, Wendy again. I have a little PS. I forgot to mention that I can't believe that Michaela didn't blow up Jay's spot about having the hidden immunity idol at Tribal, because she was angry. I'm curious as to whether they didn't show us that or if it didn't happen. So I suppose we'll find out with the exit interviews, but I'm curious about that. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Wendy.
So just to confirm what she said, in case you haven't read the exit interviews, she did not reveal it. And I think it also goes back to her relationship with Jay. You know, she even said he did it before she did. It's a game still. So she's not going to pour salt on him and blow his game up. But she would have liked to, obviously. Right. But there's a relationship they had. So
yeah. Awesome. We just had Janice, who's also one of our longtime listeners, join the chat room and went, "What? We're live? Whoa!" See, it's fun watching us live.
And by the way, Janice and Wendy are both like teenagers. You know, they've been here a long time, so they're not, you know, they're like in their 20s.
Yeah, so. Yeah. All right, David.
You said a long time. How long have we been on?
4 years, buddy.
4 years? Okay.
Well, is it 4 or 5? We talked about it last week. I don't know. Whatever. We started in January of 2012.
Yeah.
So all of 2012.
It'll be 5 years in January.
16. Yeah. 4.5 years.
That's it. It seemed like forever.
Where is Lori Perleski from?
Okay. I know I don't listen to you enough, but like I've always said, if they put it, I'll post it.
I know. I'm kind of trying to get the listeners to realize we need to know where you're from.
Right. You're right.
We need to know where you're from.
Unless you don't want us to know, then put parts unknown like Tina. Yeah. But otherwise, we'd love to say where you represent.
Yeah.
So, hi, Dwayne and David. Longtime listener, first feedback. Great episode. I was sure the talk about voting for Michaela was a diversion from the obvious Brett boot. This season is full of surprises, well, at least to me. I thought Hannah was having a panic attack at Tribal. Me too. Hard to believe she is one of only 4 women left in the game. I'm hoping the men now all target each other. It is never very interesting to have just men or just women in the final 4 or 5. It'll be interesting to see if the other millennials stick together or if some Gen X players will play well enough to avoid being targeted as easy boots. I think Sunday and Brett must have had some talks with Jay or Will that we did not see. But do they all really trust each other like they said at Tribal? Thanks for all the entertaining podcasts, and congrats to Will, the Giant Ninja, on the Cubs' victory. Lori Perleski.
Thank you, Lori. And Lori makes an interesting and honest assessment in her feedback. I was sure the talk about voting for Michaela was a diversion from the obvious Brett boot, but I was wrong. Other people go, for example, if Brett had been voted off, all those people would have been going, "Oh, yeah, they tried to divert us with all the Michaela talk, but I knew all along it was Brett." Thank you, Lori, for being honest.
But you would give her more applause or something.
No, in fact, my iPad has like 8% battery, so I'm having to turn it off between things.
She's right. We usually get a last-second candidate that's usually not the candidate.
I know. And then everybody goes, I knew it was just a diversion. I knew it was Brett all along. No, you didn't.
I was waiting for a diversion. I was waiting for some other candidate because it was all Brett. But we just didn't hear from Brett. We usually get, even Lucy talked more than Brett did this episode.
All right. Thank you, Janice. Bart Labor. I think he's from Virginia or South Carolina, one of the two. I don't remember.
I was in South Carolina.
Survivor Family. Wow, what a blindside. That was so much fun to watch. All the nuances of different people's faces. We had to watch it 3 times. Maybe I am naive, but I was really surprised by the way they were talking how it went down. I thought for sure that Brett was going home and I would be down one more player in the fantasy group. But no, Jay had other plans. Michaela's reaction was #worthy. We get so many hashtags in the show that they seem forced at times, but that one, the one right there, was good. She was completely shocked. They completely set me up last episode, but you guys saw it coming. Her reaction to the first 2 votes, I did think was too much, but she had to expect votes from Brett and Sunday. But that third one had to feel like a dagger. And when she turned to look at Jay, ... Now Jay's reaction. What can you say about the look he gave her? Like, yeah, that was me. Kind of cold, yet with a slight devious twinkle in his eye, stared her down. It was like in the movie Anaconda, when John Voight's character was wrapped up in the boa's grip. It seemed like an eternity that the snake looked at him, allowing him to realize his demise before swallowing him whole. That was what came to mind when with that look he gave her. He stared her down and let it sink in. Will was like, yep, we did that. Like, hey, it's part of the game. But the way Jay did it, it was like he needed Michaela to feel that dagger in her back. And see, I kind of took a little different approach of it. I kind of took it as Jay's like, you're trying to stare me down, and I'm not going to turn my eyes away from you. Yes, this is what I did. More so than...
I'd say I took it even different than that, in the sense that I thought it was almost out of respect that Jay's like, I know we're close, but yeah, it was me. I'm not even going to deny it. He did smile a little bit, but it's kind of like, yep, it was me.
My, it's like she started it, and he just wasn't going to let her. He wasn't going to be the one to turn away.
Yeah, you're going to go all dramatic, then yeah, I'll give you a smile. It was me.
Was nice to see the orange team not come in last for a change. Michelle, you have got to realize that if you are on a tribe with 3 men, and 3 men who just ate well for the first time in 2 weeks, you are going to hear some noises. Belches and farts are, of course, going to be flying around. Besides, a man feels comfortable around you if he lets one go in your presence. Spoken like a true man. Gosh. I mean, they went a little above and beyond, you know. Back to tribal. That blind side ranks right up there with Susan Hawk's rat snake speech. Wow. And Malcolm's hold up, bro. That was good. Maybe I will YouTube it again and watch it again. Thanks for all you do, Bart Labor. Oh, nice. Now my iPad's not even sending any signal to them.
All right, we're clapping for you, Bart.
Yes. Well, that's unfortunate because I've got to do Miriam's feedback. You want to talk a little bit while I try to get this fixed?
Sure. Well, he's talking about moments at Tribal Council when he talks about comparing it to Susan Hawk's speech and Malcolm's hold up, bro. But yeah, Terry must be very comfortable around me.
Aren't you glad you don't do a show by yourself? I am.
Yeah.
I'm
glad. Why don't I go ahead and read Andy's feedback?
Okay.
Can we just go on and read Andy's while you set that up?
No, it's all set up now.
Are you ready now? Okay.
All right. Here's I
can't imagine doing a show by myself. Now I have a little more respect for all those guys that have radio shows.
I know. All right. Here's Miriam, a.k.a. Vader Girl.
Hi, Dave and Dwaine, or Dwaine and David. How are you guys? This is Miriam, a.k.a. Vader Girl. Still calling from a hotel. Just gave my cats a bath. They're not very happy. Cat lady problems. Anyways, loved the show. It was great. I still think Ken is winning. I still am in love with him. I'm very happy that they're showing him with some strategy, but he still seems to be winning as far as I'm concerned. I'm really glad Adam teamed up with him. I love Gen X Jess. I think she's just beautiful and awesome. And I was very happy to see Zeke and David performing well, and Chris all seeming to be possibly in an alliance. I was sad to see Figgy leave. I think she's a great villain. I think they should have taken her along and got rid of Taylor. And Hannah's panic attack was another thing that stood out to me. I get panic attacks, and for anybody who's making fun of her or saying she's a weak person for doing it, I think she is a courageous person for doing it, because it shows that despite challenges like Rocky or anybody else, you can just,
Hey, I did the wrong one.
You did? You did?
Yeah, I did last week's. So go ahead and read Andy's. I'm going to get her next one queued up.
Okay. So let's go. Andy Westover. I think he's from Cameron, Missouri. Hello again, D&D. There's already been a lot of talk around the Survivor sphere about this being a horrible move by Jay to vote out Michaela. The main argument seems to be that Jay should not have voted out Michaela because she was a loyal number, which is far more important at this point than worrying about her as a threat. My response, was she really a loyal number? Was she loyal to Figgy? She expressed millennial pride and the importance of millennial numbers during the last episode, and then rejoiced at the departure of Figgy and admitted that it was basically just something she was saying just to say it. If that's the case, why should Jay and the others believe she would treat them any differently? Would she just say these types of things to them as well and then undermine them? Though she voted with them in the past, she was hardly thrilled about it, and there was certainly at least a reasonable doubt that her loyalty could be questioned. Obviously, Michaela was a millennial number if they stick to the original tribal lines, but who really thinks that will happen? I find it far more likely that Michaela would have been opposition to Jay and his people as the game progresses. 1 point goes to Jay. Oh, he's grading each of the points. So 1 point goes to Jay. In my last feedback, I floated out what I believe to be the likely voting blocks moving forward. So here are Andy's voting blocks at the merge. The Triforce, Jay, Taylor, Michelle, Will. The Millennial Outcasts, Zeke, Hannah, and Adam, and he considered Michaela part of that group. Then you got the Gen X in group, Chris, Brett, and Sunday, and then the Gen X Outcast, Ken, Jessica, and David. Looking at this names, this is amazing. Kind of that the Outcast, 3 of the 4 Outcasts are still in the game for the Gen X. CC being the only one not there, but 3 of them are still there. See, I wonder if Michelle is going to try to stick with Zeke. Zeke's talked about her being a candidate to go in that particular tribe, Vanilla tribe, but now that they're going to the merge, she might realize that Zeke and Adam and Hannah are in a better spot if they're with Ken, Jessica, and David, and go with them. Michelle's not stupid. She's not going to stick with Jay and Taylor if it doesn't befit her going further in the game.
Right.
But and then he asked, do you think the other millennial outcasts would have stuck with the cool kids? I sure don't think so. I previously hypothesized that they would likely join in with Ken, Jessica, and David, and possibly with Chris and Brett, and Sunday, leaving the Triforce in the cold. If Michaela was going to be against them anyway, getting rid of her certainly does not hurt. Another point, Jay. Removing her as a challenge threat also dramatically increases Jay's likelihood of winning the individual immunity challenges. Another point, Jay. However, counterpoint, if she's winning challenges, she is a much bigger target than Jay or anybody else Jay wants to keep, and she becomes somebody else's target. That goes to jury to vote for Jay. Point, David. Anyway, now with this move and the show of loyalty, trust with Brett and Sunday, this certainly at least opens up the possibility of bringing them in with Chris into a new majority. I still think the Triforce is going to be on the outs, but don't think this move made it any worse. However, the possibility is at least there, and it wasn't there, and it wasn't before. Another point, Jay. I tend to argue that they were already on the outs, and this doesn't make it any worse. You just took out a major challenge threat, so now Jay is going to be a target for challenges.
Mm-hmm.
And you had a loyal vote there, but it's Andy's feedback. I'll let him go. Yeah. Did Jay really make his situation any worse? I really don't think so. It's hard to read this because I disagree. Did he make it any better? I doubt it, but there is at least some potential to further his game. To finish it off, it should be noted that the key to how these voting blocks will come together seems to be squarely in the hands of Zeke. That I completely agree with. Along with apparent connections with Adam and Hannah, Zeke seems to have strong ties with both Chris and David, and could prove to be the unifying force to bring those 3 voting blocks together against the Triforce. It would appear that the social game is strong with this one. That's all for now. Andy Westover, Cameron, Missouri.
Thank you, Andy. I love it whenever David has to read feedback he doesn't agree with. David likes it when I get frustrated with equipment. I like it when David has to read. Yeah. And speaking of equipment, it is time for Mir I Am's feedback.
Hi, Dwaine and David. This is Mir I Am, also known as Vader Girl. How are you guys? I've been really enjoying this season. I really love it. I love all the cast. I just think they're really delightful. I have nothing but great things to say. Well, maybe a little bit of rants. I think Jay made a good move, a big move. I was very upset to see Michaela go. I think she's one of the best players we've seen in years. She's so beautiful and so smart. I mean, she's just a star. I mean, she is just amazing. So I was sad to see her go. I wonder how much Jay was possibly pressured by production to make that big move. It didn't seem like he was that confident in it, but I liked how he kept his gaze and stayed strong with his eye contact and owned up. I still think Ken is winning. I'm still in love with him. I really love Jess. I think Gen X Jess is just beautiful and smart and brilliant. And David is the cutest thing on the planet. I love him to pieces. Go, David, for all us nerds. I kind of rant a little bit about Michelle. She's not my favorite. I don't know. I have a hard time with hypocritical people. You know, I just think the whole dinosaur thing was a little bit odd. I guess that was in a secret scene. She's talking about dinosaurs and dragons, and it just doesn't seem to go along with the book of Revelations, or not Revelations, Genesis. I just don't get it. And I think she's probably leaving next, and I just don't think she's doing a good job of fitting in. Like I said, I didn't care for her voice. And I also thought Brett was pretty funny by saying, "Hi guys, it's me again." I know I talk a little bit long for speak pipe, but it seems to work pretty good. But back what I said about Brett, saying he's a funeral director, I just wonder if he's watched one too many episodes of 6 Feet Under and was trying to, like, you know, which I love the show myself, but, you know, I don't think he really looks like a funeral director. I think he should have said he was a military guy or EMT or something. It was just pretty funny, but I'm glad to see he's staying, I guess. Our Gen Xers, I really do think the Gen Xers are going to win somebody. I still say Ken wins because Jeff never yells at him, and he's just continually shown winning, you know, and he's getting a really good edit. So I think Ken's winning, or at least going far. And anyways, may the force be with you. Black Cats and Kale for life. And thanks for all you guys do. Sending you guys lots of love. God bless. Bye.
Did she say black cats and kale for life?
I think she said black hats.
No, I think she said black cats. I think she eats black cats and kale.
She asked that last week too.
It's like, are you eating? I know you're eating kale. You're not eating black cats, though.
See, you said you played last week's?
Yeah, on accident.
Because she talked about Ken, and she talked about it again this week. I'm like, I couldn't tell the difference.
No, because she was. I know I played the last one because she talked about Hannah shouldn't have been had that problem at the challenge.
Oh,
yeah. I don't know what she's talking about the dinosaurs and stuff. I didn't see that scene in Dragons.
I like Michelle, and I actually think Michelle's a little safer now that once they make the merge with all these other challenge threats going on. So it's where she puts herself.
Yeah. So, what was the other thing she said? Dadgummit, I don't remember what it was.
I know she said
because then she said the dragon thing, and that threw me off.
Yeah, I think she likes David and stuff, and Ken, obviously Ken, and Jessica. She likes the Gen Xers.
Yeah. All right, it's time for Gwen. I think it's Stevens or Steffens.
It's Gwen.
It's Gwen. Hey, D&D, this is Gwen from Santa Barbara. Thank you, Gwen, for telling us from where you come. What a good episode. I am sad to see Michaela go, though. She was quite a game changer. Insert winky face here. I was right about her comment from last week. David, you might need to listen again. She called you out, throwing some shade your way.
I know. I don't understand. I don't know what she's talking about. So,
well, maybe you need to go back and listen to our podcast.
Nah.
David refuses to listen to our podcast.
I was there.
That's all for now. It's been a rough week for me, but thank goodness for Survivor and D&D. I'll be in the chat tonight. Oh, sorry, Gwen. Is she here right now? No, she's not here either. Please help restore my faith in the male species. Insert cheesy smiley face here. Thanks, Gwen. That's awesome.
All right. So yes, that I'm still not going back to listen to the other podcast. If you want to put it in our Facebook group or message me, that's fine. Brian Marin reminded me what Miriam said. I don't think production was pushing Jay to vote Michaela. In fact, I would have thought they'd have pushed him not to vote Michaela, but to maybe use that as the ruse to fake us out. So that was the other point that I wanted to bring up. Is that the point you wanted to bring up?
Oh, I'm right. I'm responding to your
I know
ridiculous post in the chat.
I know you're not listening. That's why I was talking to you.
Really? You're trying to call me out on the air? It's
Yes.
so bad.
I know, because you do it to me. So
Oh, do I? Oh, sorry.
who you talk to on the phone? Who you texting? Who you messaging?
Oh, that's so true. I do that. All right. Do I need to respond to something that you said?
Just that Miriam said she thought production was pushing Jay.
Oh no, I don't think so.
I would have thought the reverse.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Just give us somebody else that could be a candidate besides of the four of you. Okay, maybe Michaela because she's smart. Okay, thanks. That's all we need.
Okay. All right. Next we have Faith from Rochester. You gotta have faith, faith, faith. You gotta have faith. Hey guys. Boy, oh boy, was last night exciting. First off, congratulations, Will, the Giant Ninja, on your Cubbies winning the World Series. That was something. Anyway, I stayed up late and watched Survivor, and that was exciting too. The challenges were great.
Good job with the Cubs, and Survivor was good too.
Yeah. The challenges were great and fun to watch. Oh, David, now you have Janice feeling terrible. You need to apologize to her.
What did I say?
I don't know. Anyway, I stayed up late. Okay. I loved Michaela and look forward to seeing her on a future returnee season. She made a fatal error of thinking everyone was okay with her winning and came on too strong, too early. Man, was she angry, and I don't blame her. So I called it in last week's feedback. The merge is next episode. I'm excited for that part of the season. Love the show. Smiley face, Faith from Rochester, Washington. Go Hawks! Monday Night Football. Okay, why am I reading two in a row again? I wasn't supposed to read that one. David.
Okay.
You have one job, David. One job.
All right, fine.
Feedback.
I'll retire.
You have one job, David.
Hey, if Will couldn't do lookout, I can't do feedback. Hey, if you want to take over feedback, you are more than welcome to take over 17 feedback. I stayed up last night because I didn't work today and I could stay up late and I watched a little bit of The Night Of on HBO. And then I said, well, let me put my notes on the computer and then maybe I'll start on feedback. I pulled up my mailbox. I said, no, I'm not staying up for 3 hours to do feedback. I will try and get up in the morning to do feedback.
Man, so I was trying to figure out what time I needed to get up this morning to be on the air by 9:30. Mm-hmm. And I got up 7:10 because I still had to watch the episode. Yeah. And then I had to make those commercials. And then I had to get all the audio feedback edited and normalized and put in Boss Jock. And I still wasn't ready on time. Ugh.
See, I got to watch it last night because Terry fell asleep.
Yeah.
But no, I do read over all the feedback. Dwayne said we don't read it. I read over it just looking for stuff that might trip us, like something didn't copy over correct or something.
Oh, that's right.
As far as like grammatical notes and stuff, but you guys nailed it this week. There was like almost no grammatical error, so I just zipped through it.
Yeah. So. But there's a difference between reading through it for grammatical stuff and clear understanding than really taking it in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
like we used to have some feedback that was really fun to stumble through.
Yeah.
So
all right. So are you reading Tyler's?
I'll read Tyler Metcalf.
All right.
Yep. Laz again. Oh, it's Laz. Laz again. What a blindside. I know the Michaela level is strong, but there are no villains at the moment. Everyone is likable. One could argue that Jay eliminated someone who would have taken him far, but I disagree. She knew about his idol. That's why you want me to read this one, because he disagrees. Okay. She knew about his idol and would use it against him if necessary. He has more trust in Will. Blindsiding her before she revealed that could be crucial down the line. The only big issue is he lost Hannah. Ultimately, though, by helping Gen X, he extended an olive branch to them as well. And what an assassin's gaze Jay has. Honestly, my favorite blindside moment, the reactions were all priceless. I'm not going to even try to predict the merge boot. 3 idols in play, all with 3 players who have a decent game skill. This could be a crazy, crazy merge. If they ever do a 2 tribes rival season, throw Jay and Michaela at the top of the list. Later.
Oh. Sorry.
I completed the feedbacks.
Good job, David. Thank you, Tyler. I don't know if he lost Hannah or not.
Well, according to the next time on, he did.
Well, but that we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, dadgummit. There we go. There we go. All right, David Moser.
Daniel Moser.
That's what I meant. Daniel Moser, who is in the chat room. Hi, Daniel. What's up? It's Daniel from Wisconsin. I really hope this sends because I don't know when the deadline is now that the date has changed. Really, Daniel? It's on the website, on the actual episode website. It says, get your feedback in, and it always says when the deadline is. So now you know where to look. Well, let's start it off with the usual why I flipped. The new CBS miniseries where we have one contestant try and gain back someone's trust, even though it will never work. This week, our guests are Adam playing I Hope We Can Be Friends and Taylor playing I'm Not Listening. Adam's talk with Taylor was unique. Adam was giving him many reasons to vote him out and many reasons to never trust him. Reward challenge. So mixed reactions from vote out. Michaela last week saying those 3 should vote out a Gen X. Now they come back without Figgy and she's okay with that. Saying how she wanted her out. First off, no. Second off, probably not the best idea to say you're happy that Figgy is gone in front of Jay, who was a very loyal ally to Figgy. Reward itself. But was it really? I don't think it was a reward for Michelle. I'll leave it at that. Immunity challenge. 2 teams won, 1 didn't. That's all that I remember. After they lost Sunday, talked on how it would be chaotic at camp right when they got there. 1 minute later, 15 minutes later, 30 minutes, 45, 1 hour. Finally, they start talking about the vote. Were they really that close as they said? It's a swap tried, and they're also different. Well, Hannah did mention that they've been around camp trying to make everybody feel, like we're all big one tribe. And
they've been winning. This is the first time they've lost.
Yeah. Brett and Sunday. If I'm Brett, I'm telling Sunday, hey, we vote together and we vote Michaela. Then you know what I do at Tribal? I write Sunday's name down. If they split the vote to vote you out, you write down Sunday. Oh, that's some backstabbing playing right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Jay and Will say maybe they should vote Michaela. They also talk about how loyal she was to them and how they were like her number 1 and number 2 and how she had the strategy to get to the end. But when did having allies and making it to the end ever matter in Survivor? I'm hoping CBS on YouTube has or will release a secret scene of Sunday, Brett, Will, and Jay agreeing on the vote. I'm surprised we didn't see that. Yeah, I would like to see that too. Tribal, like last week with Figgy, every time Michaela opened her mouth and said majority and loyalty, I knew more and more it was her being voted out. Vote out. Nothing really happened. Nothing really at all. I can remember just a simple vote off that everybody saw coming. Michaela seemed fine with it, understood why it was her. In fact, she was going to give Jay her shoes in case his got worn out. But she realized then she wouldn't have shoes, so she grabbed herself a souvenir from that tree she ripped off. Next time on, oh yeah, merge time, another 13-player merge. I love that the tribe division is so close with so many people that could flip. Yeah, so do I. Well, that's all I got this week. I don't think my chance of watching this live are high, but I'll listen as soon as possible. Bye, guys. Thank you. All right.
That was a good feedback to read at the end because everybody talked about how big a tribal council it was.
Yeah, really.
Nothing really happened. She forgot her shoes. That's all.
All right. We have one more feedback, and it's from our latest patron, our newest patron, Bruce MacDonald. And David's going to read it.
Dwaine and David, I really wanted to watch the live show, but you tricked me by moving it to Friday morning. Well, sorry we blindsided you, Bruce, but it was on purpose.
It's all part of the game. Hey, Bruce, you can't trust us.
That's right. Instead, I'll be driving through blizzards and dodging moose on my monthly trip to work. Where in the world does he work?
Yeah. And do you dodge moose or do you dodge meese? Just kidding. Or mooses. We're gonna dodge mooses. Why is it some words are the same singular and plural? You know? I mean, you don't go, I'm gonna dodge the dog for more than one dog, right?
Yeah,
you say dogs. You say dogs. Yeah. So shouldn't it be mooses? The English language is so ridiculously hard. I don't see how anybody learns it.
That's the point. The language is so hard, and I don't know how anybody can learn it.
Okay, go ahead.
Keep reading for a second. I'll answer this.
What? Where?
Keep reading for a second.
But you're okay. I just wanted to make a couple of points after he dodges the moose. 1 or 2, we don't know. Michaela was an entertaining and outspoken player, but I think she was too outspoken for her own good. She admitted she often talked without thinking, and while that's good for television, it's bad for strategy. I agree, and I think that's why she'll be back. So, number 2, Jay has emerged as the evil puppeteer. I agree with the puppeteer. I'm not so sure I agree with the evil part. He's second or third person that said something about him being like the villain, but I'm not sure they're doing the villain thing.
I mean, he got his buddy Will to vote his way, and he got 2 people that were desperate to stay in the game to vote his way. So it's not like he tricked them or pulled something over their heads for him.
Yeah. He'll get a lot of hate from Michaela Wagoners. Well, that's true. But he made the best choice, both from a strategic sense and from a dramatic sense. He made his choice early and stuck to it, as evidenced by his secret confessional. I haven't seen that. Have you?
See, that's funny because when Brett and Michaela were trying to get to the slingshot, Brett stepped up. Michaela looked like she was stepping off, and then she stopped, and he said, "Are you going?" And she says, "No, you go. When you make a decision, stick with it." And that's funny that he mentions that from that particular confession. I don't remember that. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I'll go back and watch it probably this weekend.
Okay. He scared the holy heck out of Hannah. Talking about Jay. The previous shows, the preview shows us next week is merged, so timing was impeccable. Taking down a challenge and strategic threat. Boy, I like this guy. He's smart. Oh no, my computer's doing something weird. Okay.
All right, I'll go. He roped Will into being an ally who will share the blame of turning on a millennial when they merge with their prior tribe mates. That's a good point, but I don't think Will's really a target on anybody yet. But I got you. Yeah. He gave reason for Brett and Sunday to feel gratitude for saving them, opening the door on working with Gen Xers at the merge. Now, if Ken and Jess are any indication of Sunday and Brett, then they will only be grateful as far as they have to be grateful, because I think Jessica and Ken are ready to flip on Adam. Still talking about Will. He made a big move, which is ammo for Final Tribal, and gets Jeff on his side. He got rid of 50% of the people who know about his idol and probably scared the daylights out of the other 50%.
Yeah.
And the stare down will live forever as one of the most intense moments of any tribal. Keep up the good work. See you in a couple weeks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce.
Now,
I don't know where you live, but you're not going to be seeing me if you're living near Moose.
It was, if it was near the end, that was a winner stare down. I would agree with that, but I think he's going to be in trouble.
Do you really?
I do. I don't think he's going to be at the end.
I don't.
If he is, then I'm absolutely wrong, and all you people are right about his move on Michaela.
That's right. Y'all, that was some amazing feedback.
It was.
And it's time to give away a buff, a Survivor buff.
It is.
And I don't know if you can get the merge buff this week, but you may. The next week's winner will be able to get the merge buff. But
they have to order it right away, or can they wait?
Yeah, I send her the email this week. Yeah. So it's sponsored by, and the free buff is courtesy of buffusa.com. Original buff headwear is simple, effective, and infinitely adaptable. At its core, you all don't care about that. You just like the fact that it's a buff.
Yeah, but they're a sponsor, so we have to read the whole sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Managing microfiber fabric that is wind-resistant and able to control odor. So they should.
Now you wonder why we don't have sponsors.
They should wear socks. The original buff should make socks.
Yeah.
Headwear can be worn more than 12 different ways, from a cap to a wristband to a hair tie to a halter top.
It's interesting because the material used in buffs is like the material used in sand socks that the kids wear for sand soccer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, except there's like a pad on the bottom to protect from the heat.
That's cool.
But otherwise, the material itself is like the same that you slide on.
Yeah. And by the way, if you win this buff and you don't want a survivor buff, any buff that's on their website, you can have it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So how many they needed to have? Number one, in order to be eligible to win, you have to live in the United States, submitted a feedback for episode 7, and left the feedback by the midnight deadline. So, David, how many numbers? How many people?
17. I didn't see our Nova Scotia friend. I didn't see. I don't remember. I think his name was Brian, but I think.
All right. So, random
17.
number between 1 and 17.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. Pick a random.
I'm not sure I understand.
That's because I didn't say anything. Pick a random number between 1 and 17.
The answer is 5.
5, David. Who won? Wait, hold on.
You know, sometimes when you pay it forward, things come back. And Wendy Zell calling
Whoa!
Will the Giant Ninja. Wendy Zell is our number 5, and she is the winner.
All right, Wendy Zell, we will message you very shortly. You can send us your buff size and no, you don't need a buff size. Get your official Millennial versus Gen X Survivor buffs at buffusa.com/Survivor Talk 33. Why? So that we can keep giving away buffs. There you go. And get 10% off. All right, David, it's time for
You write them. We read them. iTunes reviews.
Yeah, we don't have any new iTunes reviews. Come on, y'all. We need iTunes reviews. Leave us an iTunes review. Tell us how much you like us. Make them really good. Although we'll read them even if they're not. But still, make them good. So iTunes knows. And, of course, subscribe on iTunes. David, you got anything else to say about the episode before I do some of our closing stuff and then we talk about the challenge?
No, it's a good episode. My lunch date just showed up. So, no, I'm good.
Who's your lunch date? Your wife?
My wife. She works half day on Friday.
I'm sure you're going to have a delightful afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you for shopping Amazon, using the links on our website. Each time you do, you support the show, and it doesn't cost you a penny more. And if you like the show and want to contribute a small amount monthly, you can become a D&D patron. Not only do you make a huge difference in our podcast budget each month, but $2 a month and more, get our D&D extra video every week. And so that's good. We now have an always open D&D store. It's getting cold outside. Get a D&D hoodie. Those are nice. I like those. And in fact, if you want, you know how we have the new shirt with the smaller logo on, like the pocket logo? David? Yes? Okay. I could, if anybody's interested, let me know and I'll make a hoodie with that logo on it. So there you go. And we can have that one. So stwdd.com/store or click the link on our website. So thank you for tuning in, sharing our show with others, subscribing on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube. And of course, we are on iHeartRadio, which I have just discovered iHeartRadio, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really love it.
Is it an app or is it online or what is it?
iHeartRadio, it's an app.
Okay.
Like, for example, I was listening to Rick and Bubba the other morning, and I was getting out of my car to go work out. Well, I don't have the radio. I don't have a radio, but I turn on iHeartRadio, and there's the station that I was listening to, and I can listen to it while I'm working out. Yeah, and you can also look up our podcast, and we're on iHeartRadio.
The Red Heart.
Yes, okay. Red Heart. So, cool. So David, who was the big winner this week in the D&D Survivor Challenge? Which player got their teams the most points?
See, you didn't send me the notes, so I didn't know that I was responsible for finding that.
I did too. I always share the notes with you. I shared them last night. But I'll tell you, it's Taylor with 17 points.
Really?
Yeah.
Neither one of us have.
That's right. And then the lowest score this week was a tie between Will and Brett. Will, 5 points. So there you go, David. That's what
that link was. Got you.
That is how it works. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye.
See ya.
I'm a survivor. I'm living for the
Hey, here's some links to 2 videos. Last week's special D&D extra video. It's a week late, so I figure, you can see what you're missing or just enjoy it. Also, my newest original song. I write songs sometimes and put them on my YouTube page. This one is called Rise, if you want to listen to that. Also, here you can click to easily go to Survivor Talk website to subscribe to this YouTube channel and, of course, become a D&D patron. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Bye.